YouTube is gonna hate me for this one. Hey man, you know what? At least I finally get to do the video about it. I've been having It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia in my polls for a while now. So to see it finally people actually voted enough for it. Heck, if I decided to just not do my tie thing, I would have only done It's Always Sunny this week because it got more than one vote. So it's good to see that this show finally gets its time. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is the only live action sitcom, I guess is how people would say it. It's really not. It's really more Seinfeld on crack or the anti-Friends, though. In a way, I feel like It's Always Sunny really is the anti-sitcom, which is why I love it so much. Don't get me wrong, I'm totally willing to watch some actual normal sitcoms, but I already did Office, and I'm not sure how much of a sitcom that one is, but It's Always Sunny is such a fun parody while still obviously being its own thing. It's always sunny, dog. It's always sunny up in here. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is a very easy show to explain. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is about four self-centered jerks. Later, five self-centered jerks is starting with season 2, but I'm not talking about season 2. So we can all just ignore that fifth member until season 2. I have seen roughly half of the series. As I've pretty much mentioned before, I am horrible at binging things. Hence why I only do things one season at a time and then take breaks during it. But yeah. So because of that, I've only seen that first half of the show, the first 8 seasons. I'm not gonna spoil my thoughts on seasons 2 to 8, but all I'm gonna say is I only stopped because I'm bad at binging shows. Not at all because of the actual quality of what I was watching. But does season 1 hold up as a good start? Well, let's dig in. And for the disclaimer, due to a lot of these episodes talking about and having titles that are a bit risque, I'm going to have to self-censor myself. I know it's a pain and it's super annoying, but hey, I kind of gotta do it if I want to keep making videos. Just because no one watches these doesn't mean I still don't want to make them. With that, let's get started. Episode 1, the game gets rawest. Oh my god, we're starting already. The gang meets a guy named Terrell, and he makes the bar popular. Only problem is he makes it a gay bar. This is a solid first episode. It's a 4 out of 5. Admittedly, it's a little weird that for a show about people owning a bar, the first episode is immediately about changing the bar, but I mean, it is only a this episode thing. Also, this wasn't even meant to be episode 1 about FX, the people who run and make It's Always Sunny. Made this the first episode because I think this would be the best way to start the show off. I will eventually get into what was meant to be the real first episode and what's technically the real first episode. But as a start, since on Disney Plus where I watched this, it is episode 1, and most people watch it as if it's episode 1. It's still a good start. We get to learn about each of the characters. Well, I'd say again, at least there's season 1 versions because there's 16 seasons of the show. A show that long lasting, yeah, the main characters are going to change. In terms of the characters, let's talk about them. Charlie is clueless and dumb, but he does still have and has and in this episode and a couple others this season and in the show in general, he's shown to have a creepy, obsessive love of this woman called the Waitress. We never find out her real name, as of now, all 16 seasons, but she totally has one. Maybe. Mac goes through the whole character changes, but from what I've seen, Mac's one of the lesser important characters. I guess I just don't like him as much as some of the other characters, but he's still pretty good. He just does a lot of he. I guess he's one of the more self-centered ones, always thinking he's this badass when really he's just some loser. No self-irony at all. Actually, wait, I call myself out on it. That means I'm awesome. Dennis is a close second to Charlie. Charlie's my favorite, but Dennis is a close second. Dennis has such an ego and is so obviously narcissistic. It's honestly hilarious. And again, much like a lot about this show, it only gets better throughout the seasons. Admittedly, D has always been my least favorite member of the gang. A lot of people complain about season 1 D, saying she's, the normal one or the straight one or the straight man, or I guess I really should be saying straight woman, but I honestly don't see this at all. Well, I should say at all. There's like the occasional scene where I see it, but she's still not a good person in this season. Well, I do think she does get better. I still never found her that interesting. She eventually just becomes the Meg of this show, always getting bullied. And again, with characters like that, I never admit I like the character themselves because I always just prefer the torment they get. But yeah, this episode does a good job establishing all that. It's a good episode. Definitely recommend it. I mean, if the title didn't already give it away, this is not a show for snowflakes. You very much have to have like a very dark sense of humor, which I definitely have. So I definitely enjoy this type of content. Good start. Episode 2. Charlie wants an abo in. An abo in. Again, sorry for the self-censor, but you can clearly connect the dots. Charlie meets a woman who apparently has their son. Meanwhile, the rest of the gang tackle this wacky concept called, Funny enough, I think I put down more favorite moments for this episode, but as a whole, I like this one way less than last episode. Still good, still a 4 out of 5. I guess the main problem is just that I find this apparent son that's totally Charlie's. I just don't like him. I know the whole point of his character was that he was meant to be a brat, but it honestly kind of stopped getting. But I feel like since I've seen this first season in general the most out of all of the seasons, I feel like the more and more I watch this episode, the less and less I find this kid funny and kind of just like the episode less because of him. And sadly, the stuff with the rest of the gang isn't good enough to make the episode any better. Still a solid episode, though, but again, just not as good, In terms of favorite moments, to lay things up a little bit, when the woman first tells Charlie that he has their son, Dennis has this quote of, no one wants to hear that. You also have Dennis trying to hit on a woman at the pro-choice rally. And we also have the very satirical moment of Dennis getting hit with eggs while climbing the fence. Both sides hitting him because he doesn't have a side. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Do you get it? Episode 3, Underage Drinking, a National Concern. Okay, wow, I can actually just say the title this time without having to, self-censor. Yeah, I'm not used to censoring myself. The gang find out high schoolers are drinking at their bar and use it as an excuse to relive their high school days. I can totally see someone really not liking this episode, thinking it's creepy and all that. I mean, it is about the gang, almost dating. Well, actually, no. D straight up dates a high schooler, and we have no idea if he's 18. So yeah, no. See, stuff like that is why I wouldn't call D a good person, even in season 1, where she's apparently the normal one. Anyway, this is good. Definitely in between the first two in terms of quality. It's solid. In terms of favorite moments, I just like Charlie just knowing all the high school drama. Like they aren't even in this high school, and they still somehow know all this stuff, or at least Charlie does. And you also have Charlie being, "Hey, hey, hey, look at my eyes, cool your jets." Like that, I like that moment. That's a really good Charlie moment. Charlie's definitely the MVP here. He is fun. We also have the moment of Mac and Charlie telling Dennis that, like, I forgot his name, but someone slept with his prom date. Not, it's a solid enough moment here, but let's just say there's a certain season 7 episode where we kind of get to learn more about this random little line. But yeah, once again, much like the first two, don't have much else to say other than it was just a good episode. Episode 4, Charlie has cancer. Charlie fakes having cancer to get with the waitress. Meanwhile, Mac falls in love with a trans woman. Also, Dee tries to get her friend Artemis to work for the bar. This is easily the most I had to write for story-wise in terms of any of these episodes. That's because something I really love from It's Always Sunny, and I really hope more sitcoms I watch that'll hopefully also do this, is that they have all these smaller plots, but they all connect to one big thing. This episode doesn't do that. It feels like all 3 of the plot lines here are almost completely separated. Like we're watching 3 different stories. In almost any other show, like Simpsons or Family Guy, it's the norm to have totally unrelated plots be in the same episode. But I guess I just kind of forgot about that, and I only really seriously realized it on this rewatch for this review. And it honestly means none of the 3 plot lines really get much time to develop, and I'll just kind of feel like none of them are good enough to just be full episodes. So I guess I'll quickly go through them all. The main Charlie plot is it's a 4 out of 5. I definitely think it's the weakest episode so far, but it's still good enough. The main Charlie plot isn't super great. Obviously, like I already mentioned in the plot, he faked it just so we can get with the waitress. Not that interesting, but I did like the moment where Dennis slept with her, which is funny because considering the waitress will go on to have a crush on Dennis later in the show. And then we have the Mac dates a tranny plot. Yeah, I don't like this plot. Look, this season was made in 2005. It's exactly 20 years ago. I'm pretty sure we all know this type of stuff wasn't as positive as it is now, but as a straight guy, I don't even care about that kind of thing. I just don't think it's funny. The joke is that she's a dude, and that's apparently funny in and of itself. Call me a snowflake all you want, but I'm the one who enjoys watching a show like this, so that's clearly not the case. I just found it pretty meh. The D plot, despite being the most unrelated and kind of feeling the most pointless, is surprisingly the best part, simply because I just like Artemis as a character. She'll go on to be one of the better side characters, in my opinion. So, yeah, not much else to say other than there was this random moment with Mac at a Christmas party, and that was totally a Family Guy cutaway, right? Like, this is 2005. A Family Guy was already popular, and was hearing its 4th season around this time. So they totally just had a Family Guy cutaway. That just helps this episode feel even more random and like it doesn't have a central point. Just like a Family Guy episode. By the way, I'm not comparing this whole episode to Family Guy, obviously. Just that one moment and just, in general, the kind of structure of this episode. Episode 5, Gun Fever. The gang gets a gun. Yeah, this is a 3 out of 5. Yep, this is the weakest episode of the whole season. I know we got 2 left, but I don't care. I remembered liking this one when I first watched it, but every time I've watched this episode, I start to like it less and less, and now I just see it as meh. One of the few episodes of this whole show that I've seen that I actually wouldn't call good. It's not even bad, it's just there. Like, nothing happens. I only had 2 moments I thought were good. The stuff with the shooting range, it was so fun and wholesome. as wholesome as something gun-related can be. And then Charlie showing off his gun to his landlord was a good moment. Not much else to really add. I really don't like that D's boyfriend was like, oh, did he do it? It almost felt so obvious I think they wouldn't do it, but no, he was the one who did it. Annoyingly obvious. Episode 6. The gang finds a dead guy. I can't say that. The gang finds an unalive guy. I pray. I may have to censor that. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, gang finds an unalive guy because apparently I watched this one video and he had to bleep it out, so. The gang find a not alive person at their bar. So Mac and Dennis fight to sleep with his granddaughter. Wow, these are such likable people. Meanwhile, Dee makes Charlie join her to meet her grandpa, but he thinks Charlie's Dennis and sends him on a quest. Okay, so I'm going to be real. The Mac and Dennis stuff is the reason why I like this episode. I have nothing else. Like, the Charlie plot isn't bad. I think it starts to get good once we get the reveal of what the grandpa was actually like. And then him and Mac just kind of like trying to do stuff with that. But the real pilot here is Dennis. This is really the beginning of Dennis being super manipulative, and I love it. I love that type of character. And just seeing him be that is just super funny to me. It's to the point where all that stuff makes this easily my favorite episode of the season. I mean, it's not like it was super high competition anyway. And finally, for the season finale, we have Charlie gets Mo Ted. Again, for an episode as mid as this, I am not saying the name. Charlie's old gym teacher is accused of, and the McPoyle twins make Charlie join them and throwing him in jail. Meanwhile, Mac's jelly about not being touched. Again, much like last episode, ironically enough, I only really liked the Mac stuff, but unlike last episode, it wasn't enough to make this a good episode. The Mac stuff is funny, and that's really it. Dennis and Dee thinking they're really good at human psychology was just kind of boring. Didn't really like that part, and it went on for way too long. And the main Charlie plot's also okay. The McPoyles are solid characters, but not my favorite. Just an okay end to the season, but still definitely better than Gun Fever. Speaking of which, again, only 7 episodes, so a very easy list. But at the bottom, we have Gun Fever. Then Charlie gets Mo, Ted, Charlie, and then for the good episodes, we have a / top 5. Charlie has cancer. Charlie wants in a bow. 10. Underage drinking, a national concern. The gang gets rawest. And the gang finds an unalive guys at the top of the season. I don't have much more to add. I think my overall view of this season is very clear. I liked it, but the show will absolutely get better from here. I hear a lot of people say that It's Always Sunny Season 1 is weak, and I absolutely do not agree with that. It probably is the weakest season of the 8 I've seen, which I guess spoils my opinions on 2 to 8, but I do not care. Just note this will be a very positive series, so I guess vote for these in the poll if you really want to see me be more positive. It's just a fun season, in all honesty. I can tell the season was just the crew wanting to make something funny. Sure, the characters aren't the most interesting yet, and it could be kind of slow-paced, but I still enjoyed most of these episodes, and even the ones I didn't still had some good stuff. Not so much Gun Fever. That was almost a 2, but, it's still fine. Overall, good season, but the show will absolutely improve from here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.